No, I mean, it's fine if you want to. Vanessa, you're being mean. I got to go upstairs and take a nap.
What's the matter with your children?
You got your bread, Garrett. You don't you?
I don't even remember. I've never seen one episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. Does that make me weird? I've never seen an episode of it.
Have you seen the documentary about Everybody Loves Raymond in Russia?
No, it's, am I important in it? It's happening.
It's really good.
Should I pay attention?
It's a great limited Ray Romano.
Limited edition Ray Romano. What do you call it?
No, Phil Rosenthal, who's the producer and writer and creator of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Is Russian.
He went over to Russia.
Shit.
Though they were making their own version of it, as a lot of these shows do, and they cast a whole new cast, and it was all in Russian. But it was like him. You know, it was a Jew in Russia, basically, and it was hilarious. It's really funny. I don't know what it's on now, but it's. I'll have to look that up, but it's really good. It gives you a little bit of behind the scenes of how that kind of stuff works.
I'm curious about that. That's fun.
In Russia, let me see. Exporting Raymond is what it's called.
Really? That's a funny.
Yeah.
I would imagine that some of them making their own shit is probably a holdover from communism when they couldn't bring anything outside of the state in, you know? There's like...
Yeah.
You want to
Maybe
make...
we could do another show,
You want to make
Phil?
a version of my show? Let's call it Jews in Russia.
There's like 5 people that are like, who the fuck is this? It's Ray Romano. Although at one point it was the biggest show in the world, wasn't it?
If I remember correctly, it was like the biggest comedy on television. Was it Post Friends? Post Friends or
yes,
concurrent,
definitely Post Friends.
Concurrent to Friends. Yes, Post Friends.
Yes, it was. I think it was in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yes, right. It doesn't really show me where it is, but you can find it. Exporting Raymond.
Exporting Raymond. I'm into it.
It was done in 2011.
Raymond, the documentary was, or Everybody Loves Raymond was?
No, the documentary.
I did enjoy his Ray Romano's turn on the show Parenthood. He was a delight on that as Lauren Graham's love interest.
I got to bang a Gilmore.
Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
He's just on... I'm watching a new show on HBO called Bookie.
Ooh, what is that?
With Sebastian Maniscalco. By the way, if you have not liked the last Maniscalco stand-up, I love him. He's great.
Awesome.
But he went with this whole like sort of anti-woke thing on his last special. He thinks it's because he wasn't as physical. I'm like, the material sucked. You just sort of hit it late where it's like, oh, you can't say anything. Yeah, I know. You have a special on fucking Netflix. Shut up.
We already heard it.
You know,
yeah.
I always love these people that have these huge specials and millions of dollars in production. They're like, oh, you can't say anything anymore.
Check out my light show, like lasers.
If I'm hearing you say that, then yeah, you can.
Have you checked out all the
in
lasers?
Vegas, by the way? He did a whole room in Vegas.
Fantastic.
But anyway, it's this show called Bookie.
Yes.
And it's an interesting setup because he's a bookie in L.A. With a former NFL football player as like his sidekick, and legalized gambling isn't there yet.
Ooh.
And so he can still do it because people don't want to pay the VIG and taxes and all of that. And he's really, really good as an actor in it.
Interesting.
Really good.
All right.
But the first episode, the first guy you see is Ray Romano.
Excellent.
And you never see him again. He's getting kicked out of his house and waving to his kids goodbye because he has a gambling problem.
Well,
but he never shows up again. And in that same episode is Charlie Sheen.
Oh, fantastic!
I'm like, Jesus Christ! It's a Chuck Lorre show, so he's got a lot of people.
Chuck Lorre's gone rated R on HBO.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great.
Fantastic!
It's great.
I love it. I'm into checking it out. I just re-upped my HBO subscription because it was time. Aside from my yearly rewatching of The West Wing.
And now the yearly rewatching of The West Wing. Let's walk and talk.
They always have a really great Christmas episode, so I was quite happy to enjoy that today while setting up my Christmas tree.
Your Christmas tree looks awesome. I wish we were on video today because you've got this beautiful look at the Christmas tree in the back. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? I'm very, very happy about it. I've hung the most important ornament on the tree, which is the star or the angel on top of it. Is Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi with a lightsaber. He has been the angel on the top of the Christmas tree for many, many a moon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So traditional.
So traditional. Well, I mean, have you seen that meme where the dude like swapped all the pictures of Jesus in his mom's house to Obi-Wan with the long hair and beard? It's what between me and my kid, we were both like, fucking looks like Jesus, put him up there.
Do you remember when I was in Texas? I think I texted you this, but there's the ranch I was staying at, the lady of the house, she bought a Jesus picture off of
Etsy,
shopping network or whatever, because God, they love the shopping network out there.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you don't have internet, but your phone works.
Yeah.
Your TV works. And so she got it while I was there, and she was like, Michael, I'm so excited. Have you seen this? Look, it's just a beautiful picture of Jesus. And I'm like, that is a cowboy. Like that is not... It's not. I mean, it doesn't even have like an angelic thing behind it. Like all it has is it's a cowboy without a hat on. Oh. There's like a full beard, blue eyes. Looks like he just put out a Winston cigarette. That is not the Lord and Savior Jesus.
Maybe it's her Lord and Savior. How dare you? How dare you?
I know. I didn't tell her. I was like, oh yeah, it's gorgeous. I hope that brings you peace.
Michael,
how much was it?
This is a photo of Jesus. And he works on the east pasture.
Hello, I'm Jesus.
You did.
No, that's fine.
No,
that's
it's
fine.
not.
I know one.
It's not.
I know one. I know a Jesus. It's okay.
Yeah.
He makes that joke all the time.
I would love it if there was some type of rando white guy out there whose parents got the idea to name him Jesus.
Yeah,
there's gotta be out there. If you're like a heavy, hardcore, devout, faithful Christian, and you're like, my son is an incredible human being. His name must be Jesus. We must give an homage to our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be like, I don't know, you'd be kind of like, poking like sort of history because like what if he turned out to think he was the second coming? Like then you're a Christian family that has to deal with a 14-year-old that's like, I walked on water yesterday and you can't tell me to clean my room.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, we always knew somebody would come along to bring balance to the force. So, at some point in time, evil Jesus had to show. This is the best holiday episode ever. Talking about evil really Jesus.
Yeah, let's talk more about Jesus. I'm developing a TV show that's called Thief in the Night, and it's about Jesus's second. It's not just a second coming. It's that periodically Jesus comes back to Earth to try to be like, hey, what's going on here? I think I'm ready to come back and every time he gets dropped into a place on Earth, it's kind of quantum leap, but not really.
Nice.
He comes back now, and he's homeless, and finds out he has to get a license. He has no money, and so he goes to Goodwill, and he has to buy clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he ends up buying like Jesus shirts, and he's like, well, this is kind of ironic, but it turns out that he absolutely hates everything about Christianity. Oh. Like, I really want to tell that story about how truly Jesus would hate Joel Osteen running a church in a fucking arena and taking all that money. He would hate it.
Maybe.
And then try to, but if there was somebody who came back as a amalgam of Jesus right now, like, and actually truly was.
Yeah.
And, he can't, and of course there's angels that are on earth that are trying to help navigate it.
Yeah.
But if he was, even if he could do miracles, a few of them, and he can only like do one a week, and it's only a certain amount of them, a certain level of miracle to prove it. But even if he did, no one would believe it, right? Like everybody would be like, yeah, it's just a crazy homeless guy.
Yeah. Crazy homeless guy is CGI. I've seen it all before. They did that in the last Marvel movie. Whatever.
Yeah, please. David Copperfield made a Statue of Liberty disappear.
Yeah,
please, come on.
Apparently, he's got it. Didn't he make the moon disappear? Is it happening or is it not happened yet?
I think it's happening.
Okay.
We should check that.
Yeah, we need to
I'll
check that. Fact check that shit. And we're talking about David
because
Copperfield, not Jesus making the moon disappear.
I need to call David's people and find out.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to make the moon disappear, he said. It's taken 30 years of work. That's literally 30 years of our lives to develop, he said.
Wow.
And there's multiple methods to make it work. And I'm collaborating.
1993.
He's collaborating with Save the Children. That makes no sense.
Well, maybe
That
he's
was on
donating.
November 3rd, 2023.
Yeah, so that's like a little over a month ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. I mean, I don't
Okay,
know.
the
like,
illusion is set to take place in February 2024.
Fuck yeah.
And by the way,
Where is
in
it
case
happening?
you're looking up at the moon while you're listening to this, rehearsals are already underway.
I wonder, is he going to make it
you
disappear
may at
worldwide?
some point during the month notice half of the moon is missing, Stu.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're like, it's a new moon, and David Copperfield made it disappear.
I just hope they license a little Duran Duran. Is it Duran Duran or is it this
New Moon
Seven
on
Caged
Monday?
Tigers? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Duran Duran. Duran Duran.
It is Duran Duran,
Yeah.
right? It
I
was
like
an
my
arcade,
torch.
whatever.
And raise it to the new Moon on Monday.
New Moon on Monday.
Yeah, it's a great song.
How old is he? 79?
David Copperfield or Simon Le Bon?
Simon Le Bon.
64, I believe, 63 or
Good
64.
Lord, he just looks so good.
He looks so
Saw
good.
See that
I'm
Instagram thing with
sorry.
him on his fucking yacht? God.
Yeah. Yeah, and when
Just
they
taking
were
a little break from the tour, you know.
fucking, yeah. Can we just do that?
Let's just do that.
Let's do that. Okay, this is the last podcast. See y'all later. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be on
Then
our
everybody
yacht.
Like, we need to do, we'll start a yacht podcast. That'd be sweet.
Yachtcast. Ooh. And it's all about yacht rock.
This is funny. The other night when some people were drunk, there was talk about, have you ever thought about living on a houseboat like in the canals in Europe? Constantly. I have never, ever considered it.
I follow several accounts on Instagram of people that live on barges on canals in Europe because it looks
And they're
fucking
like
amazing.
this artistic community, right?
Yes.
Like they travel and meet other people.
Yeah, and they shill their wares, you know.
Yeah.
And it just looks so fucking great to me.
It's pretty cheap too.
Yeah.
I saw one for like $40,000.
I love it. You remember the joke used to be, you're going to, if you keep, doing this, you'll live in a van down by the river. And now, like, to live in the van down by the river, it's like a $90,000 Sprinter. And you're like, yeah,
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Fucking Jason Momoa can live in a $90,000 Sprinter down by the river. Why can't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, especially if it's on the canals and little tributaries, it's not too much swaying.
Yeah,
I wouldn't imagine if you're moored.
I believe
this is the thing is that I had to get into all this. I'm so used to California boat people and Colorado boat people. I'm like, I do not want to be a boat person.
Yeah.
And the person I was talking to, I'm like, okay, hold on. Do you know anything about boats? And they're like, not really. I was like, all right, starboard, what's that?
Right.
And you're like, it's right, right? And I was like, okay, there we go. How about aft?
Your butt.
There you go. It's in the back. See, we're good. We're half the way there.
Yeah.
We already know.
We're living on a prayer, buddy.
But I don't want to do rigging. I don't want to have sails. The boat needs to be all.
Yeah.
It needs to sound like that.
Yeah. It needs to.
Yeah.
That David Gilmour's studio, I believe, is a barge on the Thames. I'm pretty sure.
Get the fuck out of here! Really?
I'm pretty sure. There, at least it's something like that.
The insurance on that, my God.
Yeah, but he doesn't keep anything. He's like, I've got a Neve console over there. We record on that, and
it's one of the ones I stole
but
from
all the important things are down the street in the Sotheby's garage.
Yes, that's the other thing. The Thames. That would be that's. When I started researching it the next day.
Yeah.
With lots of coffee, I was like, houseboat.
Yeah.
There's tons of Airbnbs.
Yeah.
There's tons of that kind of stuff going on. But as I was looking at it, they're showing all the, you can't afford a place in London now, but you might be able to afford a houseboat.
Fuck, I want a houseboat. I'd live on a houseboat. Yeah. Totally. Dog would be mad at me the whole time.
Go on top, do a little meditation in the morning.
I don't meditate in front of people. That's disgusting.
Yoga?
That
Naked
sounds
yoga?
good.
Like, there's that guy again.
Sun your butthole. Get there.
There's that guy again, sunning his anus on his houseboat. Look what you all have done.
Gotta air out the brown eye.
But I think, I don't know. I like it. I like the idea.
It sounds nice.
Plus, this is like a counter to my friends. If you've listened to the podcast for a long time, I'm about to find out from my friends. This will be in a future podcast. Whether or not they're actually moving to Portugal or to Spain.
Ooh.
Whether or not they're cashing out their chips. We're doing New Year's, so we're going to find out. And so the counter to that is like, oh, yeah? Well, why don't you come visit me on my houseboat in the Netherlands, or I'll just meet you.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, just give me a couple weeks. I'll putter on over.
Yeah.
That sounds so fucking fantastic. And I mean, can you imagine how incredibly you would sleep at night with the light swaying of the canal waters?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think Wi-Fi and electricity might be an issue.
Starlink, buddy, come on now.
You'll have to have a propane tank. Propane accessories.
There's so much. Generators, solar generators are so powerful now. There is so little to worry about.
All right, Patriot, easy. Have you seen those commercials? How come every fucking solar generator is like called For Patriots or stockup.com? And it's like, I just want an extra little power source. No, this is for your country.
Yeah.
Fuck the government. Get yourself a solar generator.
This right here is the AK-47 of generators. It is fully automatic.
Fully automatic, and you don't need a goddamn
It'll fluff
license.
you, your boyfriend, and your wife.
Get one before the government makes you register it.
God.
Big oil and big energy.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. We're going to have to tax that sunshine there for you, fella.
Somebody has seen those commercials. And of course, it's like, as it's so funny because it's tied to climate change.
Yeah.
As the weather gets worse, and they'll show like these tornadoes and
just
huge,
people
massive
walking down
storms.
the street and
they're like, don't
blizzard.
be without power. And it's like, wait a minute, aren't you the people that are like, I think it's a little warm in winter. What happened to, they get all pissy about that. Or it's like 165 degree day in some, they're like, yeah, no climate change, liberal. Sorry. Sorry for all our conservative
Get
friends
off
who are listening.
my plane.
All 2 of you.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the idea of living on, I'm a, as much as I'm a hopeless romantic or a hapless romantic, probably more like it. The idea of a kind of a nomadic life, especially once my kid is an adult and kind of self-sustainable. Yeah. The idea of me and my person, whoever that may be in the future. He's single, ladies.
Ladies.
No.
Hey, ladies.
The idea of me and my person, just like, you know what? We're going to take the canal barge and we're going to park it here and we're just going to putter on over to Italy and we're going to sit on Lake Como for, a month. And I'm going to write the great American novel from Italy.
That's where you do it.
That's where you do it.
Or
just the idea of being able to travel and not really worry about any of my stuff, Like my stuff,
Yeah.
I don't need stuff. What
I would
need
have
is,
to pare way down.
I don't know if I would as much. I think that, I'm at the point where, if I needed to go to a studio to make a record, I know enough people all over the world that I could find a fucking studio. Plus, I made it my life's goal to go make a record at Miraval Studios one day.
Yeah, we got to do that.
We do have to do that. I
still am like pushing for a Sun recording too.
Oh, we've got
Who
friends.
was it? Was it Ryan that did that?
Ryan, Chris, and the Rough Cuts went and did a track there, I believe, or maybe just him. I don't remember. But yeah, fuck yeah, we'll have to ask him about that. We should get him on here to talk about.
We should
all
when
kinds
we do
of
interviews next year.
Yeah,
we'll do that. Yeah, it's that. Well, that and Rockport.
Oh yeah,
I have to go down to that. I mean, there's so many places. Like that's the thing is like studio porn life is awesome.
Oh god, yeah.
There's just no better place to hang out,
especially with regards to the fact that it also has the vineyard attached to it. And have you seen
Miraval?
Yeah, it is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. And to think that you can go there, drink wine, and make records, and you can record an app. Mostly do a bunch of post-production shit there. You know, they do a bunch of film work there as well. And I'm just like, I would go fucking live there. Can I be your house engineer? Just like, all I need to do is I need a corner over there. That's it. And occasionally I will drink some of your wine. Often I will drink some of your wine.
For those of you who don't know, excuse me. Yeah. God, that's a fine. $2.
That's $1, buddy.
I know. Where's your cough button? For those of you who don't know, Miraval Studios, Brad Pitt redesigned it with Damien Quintard.
Yeah, very nice pronunciation.
And it is in, it's actually Chateau de Miraval. And it is in France, in Corons. And so, like, just look it up, Miraval, if you want to lust after what it would be like to be in the studio.
Stunning.
This is not a studio that you have, like, bottles of wine and cigarettes and your crew in. It's not one of those. It's a different kind of like, lock-in studio.
It's not. There's
wine.
Oh yeah, there's
drink it outside.
Yeah, drink. It's not the type of place where like you and I get emails like when I've got studio stuff going on. I'll put up some type of like, hey, I've got some dead time here, some special. I'll get an email. It's like, hey, yo, what it costs for me to come in and spit some sweet rhymes in your shit.
Yeah,
it is not a place to do that.
No, probably not. You can do that at home.
Yes, you can do that at home. How about this? You take that blue USB microphone of yours and you do it there. That sounds great. Are you drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper?
Get an eyeball and spit in it.
Oh. Is that a Diet Dr. Pepper?
Perfect. No, those eyeball mics that have the condenser in it.
Yes.
Those are good for VO. It's just, it's not good for dynamic singing that you got to play around with the mic over here and over here and over here and back here. And you want to sing a little bit closer and then come in really nice. It doesn't work for that.
I've been seeing, here's an interesting thing that I've been seeing with regards to like microphones. I've seen a bunch of dudes on, a bunch of engineer acquaintances on Instagram and on TikTok have been playing with recording using the new iPhone microphones and playing with the proximity effect and how really fucking great the microphone on the new iPhones is, and how they can actually get some really usable things out of it. It's crazy.
You mean directly out of the phone, not through the headset microphone?
Not through the headset microphone, through the mic and the where you moan to your girlfriend.
Well, the noise canceling algorithm is amazing.
Yeah.
In it. It is. I know that part of it is amazing.
Yeah.
There's a producer in Portland that I was talking to last week, and she prefers singers to give her demos on a headset mic through the phone.
Really?
She's like, just do it on notes.
Wow.
Listen to it and do it on notes and give me like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And the shit she pulls out of that, I'm like, oh my God.
Really?
She's like, I don't know why, but like the audio is so like malleable. It's just very clear. It's never peaked.
Wow.
Like, she makes sure that it's always on, half or whatever.
Yeah.
Just tells them, just don't peak it.
Yeah.
But just sing through that and then send me that. It gets text to her. It's not some huge file. She pulls it in. But like whatever her chain is, she's got it locked in for an iPhone headset mic.
That's actually kind of brilliant.
Not AirPods.
Yeah. That's kind of brilliant though, because that microphone is pretty ubiquitous. Everybody got one at some point in time.
Yeah.
So like if you've got an iPhone and you've probably, I've got one that I use if I'm occasionally I've had to do some backing tracks for people while traveling, and I use the wired one into my laptop to make the backing track and give the cues through. And it's like they're everywhere. And if she's got a chain that makes that sound great, it's like she can take fucking tracks from all over the world. Yep. And it'll be exactly the same every single fucking time.
And the DAW doesn't matter.
Yep.
So it comes in M4A, I think, probably.
Yeah.
And she was telling me one of the reasons she started doing that is to stop having the artists freeze. Like, I need you to give me these vocal takes.
Ooh.
And I need them tonight.
Wow.
So instead of like what mic you're going to use, what interface you're going to use, are you going to use GarageBand or Logic? Do you have Pro Tools? You know, all of that kind of crap. She's like, just do it.
Yeah, scream it into your phone.
And then you could just play the music elsewhere, and like the noise canceling, you can't hear it.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing.
Wow.
Like, and they've been released on Spotify. Like, they're full on tracks.
Can you put a link to some of that in the show notes for today?
I will try to find. I'll see if she's open to it. She would also be somebody I'd love to interview.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
She has a new producer style. She's very run and gun, but she's turning out great work. And she's a mixer. She's a mixing engineer.
Yeah.
So she's an all-in-one. She'll take it and help produce it and then mix it. But that's what she really asked for, is like, hey, give me like a fairly good demo.
Yeah.
And then she'll take the drum tracks and like do them right. And then she'll take the bass and do it right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And then it comes out. But she's like, if the bare bones are there, you know, and because apparently she's fairly quick. So, you know, but I really love that. I love that for her. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Isn't that nice?
That was really great.
I found
that
out
whole
today
thing.
is a Thursday.
Yes.
Now, I know we don't want to pull the curtain down too much on this.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was Friday.
Really? You're like, everybody's working for the weekend.
Yes, let's make the show older. 81 or something like that. Mike Love. What's up? Mike Love from Lovaboy.
Lovaboy. Like, that's a bit on the nose, don't you think, guys?
My name is Steve Taish. I think we should call it Taisher Boy. Well, my name's Mike Love.
I'm sorry, but Mike wins over here. He's got the right idea.
Mike wins over there.
Yeah.
Look at those lips.
Yeah.
Plus, he has split teeth. That means he's sexual. Yes. We got a big party tonight.
Oh, yes.
Pretty excited. I was just given last-minute instructions to go buy 2 bags of cheese for the enchiladas. And on my way there, I thought, I'll get a nice walk in. It's very snowy here right now.
Yeah.
Got a nice walk in. Wanted to get a little exercise in before I drink so much tonight. And so... went and walked to the store. By the time it was all done with the texting and all the rest of it, 3 bags of groceries came back. Can you get this? Oh, I need this. Oh, this thing too. I am huffing it back home. And it's all heavy shit, jars of this, cans of that.
Ragu.
I'm like, motherfucker. But it is time to shut this year down.
Yeah.
We're getting close to shut. So, musicians, listen. Artists, okay?
Yes.
It ain't happening. Whatever you're emailing me, it's not happening.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. You're not going to get an answer.
Not until at least the second week of January.
So someone asked me, like, okay, so what's your advice toward the end of the year, how to reach out to people, like, you know, for sync or for deals or, you know, live or whatever? I was like, do not do it. Just say happy holidays and, can't wait for next year.
Yeah. Thanks for working with us this year. We appreciate you. Here's a Starbucks gift card. That's the way to say anything to anybody at the end of the year. Send them a present.
Dude, someone sent me a song last night.
Oh, no.
That they want to release.
For Christmas? For the holidays? Yeah.
I was like, you got the wrong guy.
Yeah. Well, you can.
How much traction can we get from this? I'm like,
you're going to have to wait until next year.
Yeah, I was like, which, by the way, this was the conversation. We should talk about this.
Yeah.
There is no new good Christmas album this year.
No.
Would you agree? Unless you know of one, I don't.
Not a brand new one. I mean, I'm still listening to old Christmas, old holiday music.
Yeah, everybody will.
Yeah.
There's classics, right?
Yeah.
Samara Jones put out one. But for the most part, even the newer shit, like Brandy, A Christmas with Brandy is a reissue.
Yeah.
Diana Krall, that's a reissue.
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane, all those are they've done it.
Yeah.
But there's not really a new one. And, and so this person that was sending me this song was like, I just think that there needs to be new Christmas music. I'm like, I totally agree. And they're like, but the thing is everyone listens to classic Christmas music and you can never get in. I was like, that's exactly what someone told Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
There's already Bing Crosby. There's already Johnny Mathis. What are you doing?
Yeah. And she didn't want a lot for Christmas.
She didn't. Just all of you. Jesus Christ. You are absolutely killing me, lady. You're so needy. So what I tell people a lot of the time is write your Christmas music around now.
Yeah.
For next year. Be
Yeah.
in the mood. You get the snow, you got the hubbub, you went to parties, whatever that you're doing. Write that now, and then you can, when we get into July next year, we can revisit it.
I have a Christmas song that I wrote with my buddy Damon when we were doing the Savage Henry thing many years ago called Nothing Good for Christmas. And it's basically about a dude that got busted with the wrong lady sitting on his lap like Santa and was in big trouble. I can't imagine why that didn't land for the holiday season, but we thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. The last few Christmas songs I've written were so fucking depressing and sad. One of them was called, oh my God, okay. One of them's called One Less Stocking.
Oh my God.
Dude, it is so sad.
I mean, to be fair,
so
when you
sad.
wrote it, there was probably some shit going on.
It was my mom dying.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah, I know. And it's a horror. I'd love to bring it back because there are a lot of people that they get in, you put this on the goth Christmas album. Everybody, I really want to do like a war on Christmas album. Save your money and stop buying me gifts. I want to buy weed. That kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
But so yeah, it's. Are you done Christmas shopping?
Yes.
Or do you do Christmas shopping? Or are you one of those people who are like, no commerce for Christmas? I just give you good thoughts.
I do Christmas. Do. But mostly, I do it for my kid. I don't need anything for me. People are like, what did I get you for Christmas? My parents in particular, they're like, my mother is just like, we want to get you something for the holidays, and I'm like, okay, get me a King Soopers gift card to go get groceries, or you buy a Costco membership for the year. There's something that I can actually use, but we want to get you something fun. I already bought all the fun shit. I have a whole fucking studio at home. I have all the guitars I could want, and I have a motorcycle. I need nothing else from you.
Exactly.
You gave me life. That was a gift. Thank you.
That was the argument we were having. I'm like, well, I'm putting together this media studio. I'm putting together a few rigs, but
buy me a rug.
No, I don't want you to buy me the new Volt interface, and
I love the Volts. They're great.
There's. Hey, go find me a fucking luthier and maybe put some money down on that. There's nothing you could buy me that I'm not going to buy.
Can you plane my saddles?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Can you give me a file set?
Yeah. I need you to go to StewMac and get me the luthier, whatever kit, advanced luthier kit, something like that.
Yeah, I certainly don't want tchotchkes. I don't know. I'm gonna end up with.
But my kid wants all the fucking Nerf guns in the world. He wants Nerf guns, and he wants
that's a gift for everybody.
And we have a rack. We have a rack of Nerf guns, and we have also right behind the house a fucking massive wild trail area for full-on
or
Nerf
as
battles.
We call it a shooting range.
Yeah, what we call it is like the battlegrounds for nerfing. So there's gonna be a fuckload of kids over here in the next couple of weeks, and I'm sending them out to the snowy tundra with Nerf guns and gloves on, and be like, "Fuck it up, go, get out of here." You
didn't tell me about the smell. What's up, Star Wars geeks?
There you go.
It's a Tauntaun joke for you.
Yeah, that was. I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Outside. There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome. I just had to correct you.
Of course, I'm going to screw it up. I knew I'd screw it up.
Don't worry. I've the Nerdy House will go ahead and live and say, play this for you. Hi.
What's funny is that you were probably doing the Family Guy one.
No, I was doing Professor Frank.
Which is that's okay. No, the Family Guy Tauntaun one.
Oh, yes.
Where he's on Solo.
Yeah. Well, no, gee, guys. I made my son watch, speaking of Seth MacFarlane, because this is the third time he's come up on this podcast. Well, now is the third time. I made him watch the scene from Ted 2 that makes me laugh so hard I almost throw up, which is the yelling, depressing suggestions at the Improv Comedy when they are just, it is the funniest. If you can find this scene on YouTube, and it's like, hearing Mark Wahlberg go, "Fuck yeah," is like, it was worth the price of admission anyway. It is delightfully hilarious, and I'm happy to say that I'm finding out that my son also has a bit of a dark comedic streak like his father. And so we've been enjoying a little bit of Jim Jeffries here and there, and we've done some Bo Burnham. We've been getting into some slightly darker material, shall we say? And
have you reached Jeselnik yet? Or?
We have not gotten to Jeselnik yet.
It's probably a little early for
for Jeselnik, but
you can work your way up to it.
We'll get there. But I'm just finding great joy in sharing all of this fucking comedy with him right now. It's awesome, and it's perfect holiday time. We'll throw something on the Netflix specials, and we'll fucking decorate the house and throw candies and open presents and have a great fucking time.
I've been falling to sleep a lot to Tom Papa.
Oh, hell yes.
I love the cadence and the voice. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, you're a billionaire. Good for you. And if you don't give it away in the next 24 hours, we're coming to get you. That's all. Who's going to stop us? It's great. You're doing great. It's great.
It's great. You're doing great.
I love the TED clip for white trash names, and I loved when that came back on TikTok.
Yes. There was also a lovely the new
Janice,
Wonka.
Letitia,
the new Wonka movie's coming out, and oh crap, I'm gonna forget his name.
Do you want me to do it for you?
No, I got it. I'm gonna find it here.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm getting there.
Okay. Well, I'll just filibuster until you
filibuster,
get it.
would you? Tell
how do you say the name of the character that's the name of the guy who's playing Wonka?
Timothy Chalamet. So
Keegan Michael. Let's fuck up TikTok. Is it Timothy? No. Is it Timothy? No. Is it Timothy? No. Is it anything? Does anyone fucking know how to say this kid's name? Even he switches it all the time because he's given up.
I think that he's fucking with everybody, and
I do too.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So Keegan-Michael Key is in the movie.
Clank, clank, clank.
So, yeah, exactly. Keegan-Michael Key's in the movie. And so, he had that Key and Peele skit where he was the substitute teacher who didn't want to pronounce anybody's names correctly. Mm-hmm, and, Aaron and all that shit. And so what they
we're going to do that now.
And so, we're going to do that. So that's exactly. So he basically was doing an interview with some of the other people, some of the other cast members, and they asked him, how would that substitute teacher mispronounce the names of your fellow cast members? And Timothy Chalamet was one of them. So it's worth looking up. It's funny, and I believe Olivia Colman's in it too. And he says, "I know how to say that shit." Fucking funny.
God,
anyway,
I love her. She is so. Listen. I know that she is not, some young starlet.
No, but she's badass.
She's so fucking hot. I love her.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm not even kidding. She lights up a screen, lights it up. I tell you.
Oh.
This
is what got me in trouble on TikTok.
By the way, Merry Christmas, Kelsey. How are you?
She doesn't celebrate Christmas.
There's someone that's waving a piece of paper in the air. It's the rundown. That we haven't hit a goddamn thing
we
on.
Have it. We hit. Let's see here. We hit the intro. We started talking. We hit the intro. We did
hit it.
Shutting
the
year down. Shutting the year down. We talked about that.
Yes. By the way, let's put a bow on that. Don't nothing's happening till February.
Yeah. Agreed.
Just don't.
Agreed.
Just
now
don't.
It's
just say hi.
Time. Create. Right.
Produce. Create. Get your catalog together.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Get your paperwork in order.
Okay, I hear you, Kelsey. We'll get to it. Here it is. Okay. So here it is. Next, I'll just go really quick. Spotify's axing 17%. CFO steps down. Daniel Ek says it's because people are doing fake work at Spotify. Tidal cut to 10% as well. Streaming's in a little bit of a little. It's going through it right now. Let's just say that.
It's going through puberty.
So let's get to this. Next year, what we think we'll see and what we want to see. Wow, that's great producing, Kelsey.
Wow. Well done. Well done.
So next year, what we think we'll see and what we want to see in music, basically. I'll do a little bit here.
Okay.
Here's what I think will happen.
Okay.
Here's what I think some of the things. Upheaval in streaming, quite a bit of upheaval in streaming.
Okay.
The new Spotify rules are going to take effect. Not only are you going to have 1,000 streams a month, probably. It says a year, but you're going to have a certain amount of streams to like ticket every month, it seems like.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to leak out. You're going to actually have a certain amount of unique listeners as well. So if you're on a bunch of playlists that regular listeners are listening to, it's going to be weird. I don't know how they're going to count that on unique listeners. But that's going to be an issue. We're going to see how that all plays out and how it really plays out for independents and how it plays out for a lot of people that are gamifying Spotify, buying bots and streams and stuff. Yeah. And that goes to like these minute tracks of whale songs and the 14-minute tracks of whale songs and how they're paying those out and how the royalty pool goes. Apple and Spotify, in terms of problems with the EU, there's a whole thing about remuneration where there needs to be equality in artist remuneration. Something like that. Yes, numeration.
Yes, numeration.
Apparently, Spotify is not actually pulling out of Uruguay, but it was said that they were. But this is going to come more to the labels and publishers about the rules in the EU, about having this equality thing that's happening. So we'll see. But Apple also is going to run into some problems with these EU laws about their own App Store stuff for Apple Music versus Spotify Music. Here's an interesting thing that I wanted to mention because we have talked about this before. Apple is going to be paying more and weighting more algorithm to Atmos, to Dolby Atmos mixes. Amazon and Tidal already have this. Amazon and Tidal pay better anyway.
They do.
But it's not as much.
They do not have as many listeners.
Not as many listeners, yeah. And so I got a question last week. Well, okay, what is all that? How do I get into that? So what you need to do is Google Dolby Renderer. It's normally in most DAWs already. Yeah. If you buy it outright separately, it's like $299 from Dolby. But this may be something if you want a little bit of a leg up. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not saying I care. Yeah. But you can mix it in headphones because apparently 80% of people that are listening to Dolby Atmos tracks are listening in headphones.
Yeah. For an immersive
which is interesting
experience.
For spatial audio.
Yeah.
But I think this may be a thing. I think it may be like if you want it, it's not that hard to pull out that mix. You can still get a good stereo mix after pulling that up out of your favorite DAW for the Dolby thing. But so Dolby Renderer is what you need to look for, and then whatever your DAW is. So if you're doing Logic, go Dolby Renderer, Logic Pro X, or same thing with Pro Tools. There's a setting in there where you can basically launch it to do that mix and just mess with it. Best I've heard from everyone is no one cares how good it is. There's no like, wow, that's a really good Dolby Atmos mix. Yeah, I'm sure there are some, obviously, but I think that's gonna. I mean, when there's money with it, it's gonna be a bigger thing. Yeah, it's gonna be a bigger thing, and I think I see this as sort of the war between waves and high quality MP3s. If it's not that much of an issue, and one platform is preferring it a certain way, okay, well then drop a Dolby Atmos mix. And still do your stereo mix. Now you just have an extra master. Another thing that kind of goes against the grain, is the return of QR codes. I know. And especially if you're a millennial, you hate QR codes because it was such a thing. It's just a stupid thing, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, a fucking QR code. However, because of the pandemic, so many restaurants moved to QR codes for menus. A lot of older people are more used to them now. They know how to open up a camera on a phone.
Can I ask a question about the QR code? My favorite thing in the world is when somebody texts me a QR code and they say, open it with your phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a photo of a QR code. I have to go find another camera now to scan it. No? No,
you just hold the photo and it will say open in a new tab.
Really?
Yeah, it's embedded. The link's embedded.
Well, okay. All right, fine.
I know. Or they could have sent you a link. You're right.
No, they just sent me a photo of it.
Right.
Photo of their QR code. Screenshot.
Yeah, that's an issue. Well, then you save it to Photos and open it with Photo, and it'll open the square around it.
All right.
Again, I think this is coming a little bit more, and I think bands could do a little bit of damage with it.
Okay.
And
give me some how do you think bands could do some damage with it? I have some ideas, but I would like to hear yours.
I mean, every flyer on the table of your live show, you have a QR code for the latest single.
Yeah.
Every time you do like a poster, you can use them digitally on Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and all of that kind of stuff. Like there's a 1,000 ways to do it, but like really to try to get more fans into your personal email list, there's a way to do it where you can just have someone go directly to your email list, drop your email, boom, and then they get something back immediately.
Yeah.
So it's just a quicker way to get someone into your, don't use it to send someone to Spotify. Like you're just kind of wasting your time there. Like send them to your link or whatever and get their email. Somehow get them into your world is what I think.
Yeah.
Use it for contests. Yeah. Like if you want to get people to use it more.
Yeah.
Give away, like the first person that goes to that QR code and finds the last song that you're going to play tonight on the set list. So, okay, here's a way. So you do the QR code. It's on all these little printouts on the table.
Yeah.
Or you just have it on stage, just somewhere, and like, hey, do this QR code. It has our set list. The first one that tells us what's the last song going to be, we'll buy your table a round of drinks.
Yeah. Very nice.
Suddenly people know how to fucking use a QR code. I'm just saying, like, you put it together with a drink, you put it together with some things that are kind of free, and maybe not a song. You could do a download, and you could be something that is like, these are for super fans, right? Like if someone's coming to your show and be like, if you want a copy of tonight's show, the live recording of tonight's show, exactly what we played, we'll send it to your email.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So offer something with it. Don't just send them somewhere. That's a link.
Yeah.
Offer them something, and it's fairly easy to set up. There's a bunch of different places where you can do customized QR codes, but basically just do a landing page that has an email thing and what you're going to get for dropping that email for that night or for that code. Yeah. And then that's the way to do it, I think.
That's a fucking great idea.
Yeah. Put it on your tour bus.
You're a genius.
Put on your tour bus if you're touring, put a QR code for what the dates are going to be. So if you're in town and then you're just driving around Kansas City or whatever, and they're like, oh my God, they're going to be at McGillicuddy's tonight.
McGillicuddy's. That's a solid Irish name.
Yeah, it's actually a Mexican bar. Okay.
Wow.
Great enchiladas.
Fantastic.
Oh my God, there's going to be enchiladas tonight.
Oh, hell
Here's the other thing that I think is going to happen. Streaming syncs and ad spots are exploding. I'm seeing tons of upcoming briefs because there's so much splintering of streaming services and because of some of them are using ad spots. Yeah. Hulu, The Cock.
Yeah. Fantastic.
A few of the other ones are using.
Yeah.
I almost said
Hulu's Cock.
Hulu's Cock. But also sports syncs.
No, yeah.
If you're paying attention to the sports world at all, there is massive upheaval. There are new contracts happening for the NBA. There's new bargaining agreements for hockey. Yeah. The NBA has a new in-season tournament that's happening. And it just happened this year, and now it's going to happen next year, and it's going to be sponsored. It's going to be a whole breakout thing. The NBA is renegotiating a contract, and that means it's going to be spread out over multiple networks. Soccer in between MLS, Paramount, The Cock, TNT. There is splintering all over sports, and that means every single one of those is going to have new promo spots, new broadcast coverage, new pre-shows, post-shows, halftime, bumpers, commercials. So whenever you see that, when you see media fragmentation as a musician, as a songwriter and a producer, you should think that means El Streamzo. Now, I can't help you know what kind of music to do to those. If you don't know that, that's on you. That's a longer podcast, but that's going to happen. What do you think will happen, or do you care, or do you just agree with those? And I'll get to the wants.
I didn't know about all the sports stuff because I'm not a sports person.
Sports ball.
I'm not. I'm just not. Unfortunately, it's just not. It's just not
it's
something
not
I'm into.
Unfortunate. That's fine.
And maybe I'm. I feel like I'm the old man yells at cloud here thing.
Ooh, what a turn of events.
Yeah, because I think that music is going to get. Because I feel like, especially pop music, and especially modern country music. Sometimes in hip hop, most music that's getting released these days is pretty disposable. And, it's like it's in for 12 hours and it's out. And I think that window is going to get shorter on how long a song remains popular and in the
I agree.
In the public eye, shall we say. So I have no interest in necessarily doing that all the time. So people like me are going to be like, you know what, I'd rather, pull a Rick Rubin and just make things that feel good and sit well with me. And I think that is going to be a side thing that happens over here because there are people that are going to be seeking music that has a little bit more gravity and weight to it and is not, a popsicle.
I totally agree. I think that is going to happen next year. Some of my label contacts and the people that they're preparing for next year, there's going to be a lot more controversial stuff to try to stick out because so much. Well, we're up to 120,000 songs going on
Lil
Spotify.
Nas X is making a Christian record.
Well, there you go.
That's what he says on his socials. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
But because there is so much music that's coming out, the only way that you can differentiate yourself is how you promote it and market it, right? And your little TikTok stuff and your campaigns on Facebook or Instagram or whatever will only go so far.
Yeah.
And you can take a look at Lil Nas X and people that have done shit over the last year and just kind of look at like how controversy sells. And I think especially labels and sub-labels know this. Like, how do you nudge yourself into the conversation? And therefore, I think, especially for independent music, authenticity is going to matter 1,000 times more. Just like the dude that did that country song this year, the dude that like blew up on TikTok, and it was just him in a shirt playing a guitar. That kind of stuff, like, if you really hone the song and the message of it, that's going to be your big marketing win this year, I think.
Yeah, and you can't
As
fake
always,
it. You can't
but it's
going
to be even bigger this year, I think.
Yeah, can't fake it. You can't just say, that's the new hot thing, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Because it will not work. It has to be genuine and for real.
Not long term. Not building a fan base and listeners and all
eventually
that.
You'll get sleepy and that.
Yeah. All right, here's some of the things I want to see happen next year. Thank you, Kelsey. Here's some of the things I want to see happen next year.
Yeah.
To my left, that's where I looked.
Yeah.
You saw it. Okay.
I saw it. Yeah.
I want more bands that give a shit about putting on a concert than a gig.
Oh, okay. Hallelujah, holy shit, where's the Tylenol?
Go buy a $20 guitar to break on stage if you want. Something, anything, but just getting up there in your ratty old fucking clothes with no color and not figuring out a stage show, not figuring out video. Almost every club, even little bars, have like a little screen you could put something on with a USB and a laptop that you could put a little bit of visual action into.
Yeah.
Go tip the mixing guy, tip the light guy, like do something for Christ's sake. Like, it's such a glut market. Stand out, make it an event. One of our friends, a very close friend of ours, Tommy Nahulu. He does live paintings at certain shows.
Yeah.
So he will sit there during the show and do a live painting, and at the end of the show, they auction it off. A lot of times it's for charity or for something else.
Yeah.
But there is no reason why every show can't have that.
Yep.
And talk about physical merch.
Yeah.
Something, an event to walk by. There's something happening here that doesn't happen at other gigs.
Yeah.
Little things like that, giveaways, make your own water. There's like all of these things. Do you know, like there's these water companies now that offer cans of water.
Oh, that's right.
That are free to give
about it.
away
Yeah.
because you can put advertising on it.
Yeah.
Well, that can be your fucking band. Or that can be your drummer's dad's car dealership.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Give away water somehow. Somehow do that.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of ways to do that. Maybe we'll have a podcast about that later in like extreme guerrilla marketing techniques.
Yes.
Hide $20 bills under tables. There are 1,000 ways to do it. I have a list of 100 to do. But like make concerts, events. Stop playing gigs. There's too much entertainment out there.
Yeah.
There's too much entertainment
At
here
home.
at home.
Yeah. Amen.
To get me to get into a $20 Uber, to pay a $10 cover charge, to buy a $10 drink, to see you in your ratty fucking clothes.
Give me a reason.
Tuning on stage and yelling at the drummer. And oh my God. It's going to kill me.
That's amazing. I can just see you at that show too. Like
that's me in the back. That's me in the back, corner, screaming at the band on the stage.
Fantastic.
Play a fucking concert. Yeah. I mean, this is all basic shit, but it seems like every band has forgotten it.
I think there's a lot of the message got mixed up in that well, my music will speak for itself. Your music does speak for itself, and if I'm bored, that's what it's saying. You know, like if your songs are good, a great visual experience will take me back there every time I listen to your music.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of concerts I've seen of bands that I was a fan of, and they put out a new record. I'm like, the record's fine. And then I saw it live and saw the concert and the show and the performance that they put on, and it changed my perspective on the recording material. So,
yeah,
because I have a friend of mine called it the and then they. I went to see this band and then they.
Exactly.
They did this. So it was a great show, and they did this, and then they did this, and then they did this, and what's that thing? Just having a guy in a fucking Santa suit playing a guitar with Christmas lights all over it and jumping all over a drum set. That was, that's a show element too. Like, there's pieces, there's parts to that. There's the performance aspect. There's Gigi Allen flinging his shit at people. There's the visual aspect. You can run. I've done this forever and ever and ever, which is I've sent video to the front of house from a laptop and run an audio track with a click to the video. So the video is happening at the same time as the band's doing things, and I have my own light show because the screens are doing what I want them to do.
Exactly.
Something like that. And then what I can do is I can actually run the show in blocks and bricks and go, we can do this song, and this song, and this song. And I got a guy up there who's doing it on a fucking computer. And if we decide we want to change the order of the show, we can do that on the fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just, like the way that there are so many ways for you to put on a visual experience. I had a friend of mine, we did a show together. We had old TVs. And we ran just a bunch of random fucking shit to these TVs. You got a visualizer on your computer when you play music these days. And we took the TVs and we basically smashed the shit out of the screens with a bat and ran video to them. And it was all fucked up and destroyed. And it looked really fucking cool on stage.
Yeah.
Josh Skelton, our guitar playing friend in Nashville, he had a band called Starfuzz, and I believe they did something similar. They had a bunch of TVs all over the stage, just playing a bunch of like Ed Sullivan Show and that kind of shit. And it gave me something else to say. Hey, that was a great show, and the stage setup was fucking great. There's so much stuff you can do now for almost $0 extra dollars to make the show an and then they.
And think about this: the and then they thing has to do with why someone that came to see your show, how they tell someone else about it.
Yeah.
Right? Someone else who doesn't know your favorite band, they don't know the lyrics, they don't know the name of the songs, they don't know the name of the lead singer. All of that shit, you're like, oh, during the song, Gonna Catch You, the guitar player played this D. It was amazing. No one gives a fuck.
He played with his D.
Nobody gives a fuck. But if you're like, during the song Gonna Catch You, you should have seen the thing the guy was wearing. He took it off and it caught on fire. It was amazing. There's something about the show that someone could share with someone who doesn't know the band that would make other people come see the band.
You got to step outside your musical creative wheelhouse here and think about what it was like for you to stand in the crowd of a show and watch something that made you want to go play music in the first place.
Okay, I agree, but that was before Netflix and Hulu, and someone would bring anything you ever wanted to your house. Like back in those days, I could be like, oh, that was a great show because I don't know. I take myself out of that because as a musician seeing shows, I'm paying attention to what it sounds like and all the rest of it. Yeah. But like regular fans, they don't get that stuff.
There was a show I did in 2000. It was a while ago. But the idea was we had sold out a big theater in town. We were doing a CD release show when you did that kind of thing, which is not the traditional CD.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You did a...
What were you releasing?
A compact disc.
A compact disc?
A compact disc. That is, it was in the 2000s, I promise. And what happened is I walked into that theater and I said, I'm turning this into a circus tent. And they went, the fuck you are. And I said, there's going to be a guy on stilts out here in the lobby. There's going to be a dude walking and running around on a ball, dressed like a seal. There's going to be a werewolf. There's going to be I'm putting trapeze artists in there, and I want to do this thing. The only thing I could not do is the fire department would not let me hang things from the center light truss where the disco ball was. They're like, you can't fucking do that.
Tend to frown upon hanging.
Yeah, so they were like, you can't hang and it wasn't hanging a person from up there like the trapeze artist. I was not doing that. I wanted to have these white fabrics to make it look like you were inside a big top tent.
Oh, yeah. Cover it,
But they were like, don't fucking do that. So what we did is we actually made the stage like that instead and projected video onto all of those white things. And it was 5 different videos. And I spent some time with the video guy, and we got it so that it was 5 different strips projecting right on that thing. Had all these fucking lights and shit flying all over the place. Trapeze artists. I got a werewolf. It was awesome.
Real one.
A real lycanthrope. And, it was just like, I wanted to do this thing where it was just like, I don't know of another band that's fucking doing this.
Rest in peace, Pat.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. All right.
We love you, Chevy.
And this goes along with another thing that I want to see is more... by the way, all of this stuff works together, right?
Yeah.
Visuals and music and being an artist, having a vision, caring, giving a shit about your music and how it is portrayed, right? This is kind of a Taylor Swift theory. Like, why do you do all these little things and these little hints? And she did the Midnights thing in front of a telephone.
Oh my God, that was brilliant.
All of that kind of crap that had nothing to do with the music and yet everything to do with it. And it's because, especially in today's world, I know you're going to hate hearing this, musicians. Fans don't give a fuck about your music primarily. They care about you if you're an artist.
Yeah.
Like, do you buy into it? Do you care so much about your music that you're going to come up with a circus motif?
Yeah.
Come up with something, a way to portray it, that you've thought so much about how you're presenting it.
Yeah.
I can get into that as a fan. It's not just another song on my playlist. It also is a reason for me to spend the money to go see the show. It's also a reason for me to go, if you were to put up, say, a live stream, why I would sit at my house and fire up YouTube. This is another thing. I think live streaming is going to take another step forward this year. You know what you need to live stream on YouTube?
What's that?
Not a goddamn thing. Your phone.
Yeah.
And no hits.
So you need
gotta
that.
You got to be a verified artist, whatever. But that's pretty easy. You get that through a distributor. You send YouTube a message. But basically, you don't need 1,000 followers. You don't need 1,000 subs anymore. You don't need a certain amount of views. All that. You can just fire that shit up right away.
Can I have
so
1,000
why are you
DOMs
not
instead of
live
subs?
streaming every rehearsal?
Ooh, that's a
Why
good
are
call.
you not inviting 10 of your fans as a VIP show to your rehearsal room, throwing up Christmas lights, putting up a few iPhone cameras, doesn't matter. No one cares.
Yeah.
And then just live streaming it. You can ask for tips. You can charge for it. Why don't you get your mom to come to your rehearsal? Sit around all the porn magazines and the beer bottles. I want to see that. Your fans want to see that.
I have so many questions. But yes, I agree. But
And
that's
this
the thing.
goes along with record everything.
I don't know why you have to swear so much in your songs, Michael.
I like it. It's fucking cool. My mom cussed so much more than I do.
That's saying something.
She really did. Yeah.
Yeah.
She had the mouth of a. She had the mouth. She used to say, "I have the mouth on a sailor," and I'm like, "Mouth of a sailor, mom." Mouth of.
Yeah, no, she was right the first time.
This goes along with record everything. If we are in a world where everyone's releasing everything all the time,
In a world.
well, then record every show. I mean, we've talked about this. Record every show. Go buy a 1 terabyte Samsung drive.
Yeah.
Record every show, every live show, every rehearsal, every songwriting session.
Yeah.
Just start get used to that, especially if you're a young band, and we've talked about this. Start recording yourself to understand why it's boring to you. Because it's gonna be.
That's
Like you can see in between in rehearsals why it's taking so long, and the drummer didn't have the stand on this cymbal correct, and why are you tuning? Get another fucking guitar. Fix your guitar so you're not tuning all the time.
Yeah.
You know, all that kind of stuff. Start recording more.
That's you will learn so much.
Yes.
About your
It'll become obvious.
And I don't know about you, but on stage for me, dead air is like, if I hear more than it feels 8 times longer on stage. It will feel 20 times longer when you're listening to yourself do it live, and you're going, oh fuck. You just hear the crowd noise die away, and then silence. And
there's nothing like putting a camera in the middle of the room, because then you start hearing people talk.
Ooh.
I did this with a band. I was like, I don't need to tell you. Just watch this. And you can see what songs are weak, what intros aren't working.
Yeah.
How the singer is talking too fucking much and not saying anything funny or important. And you just hear, Chatty Cathy over here going, the thing is Debbie told me I should go on Saturday. And you're like, you're at a fucking show. Well, you're not, because the show's not going on right now. And so, then you come to me for how to fix that. Okay, well, now we do intros and outros. Now we do little musical interludes. Now we, if the singer wants to talk, make sure it's funny. Yeah.
You can't just you gotta, it's also, if you're, there is so much more to being a front person than just being able to fucking sing.
Did you say fuck and sing?
Fucking sing. I did say to fucking sing at the same time, which is also true. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, he's so brooding. Anyway, just you have to be able to read a room.
Yes.
The number one thing is to
run
know,
a room.
And run a room, and like so that you command it. You want to watch a commanding presence. Watch anything fucking Freddie Mercury did between 84 and 87.
Yeah. I would say right now, watch Dave Grohl.
Oh, yeah.
For a band for someone who talks.
Yeah.
Like, and he'll talk over a musical interlude.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. And he's funny. And he's making fun of himself. And it's fun. And he's talking about other band members. And then Pat smiles. And then, it's a thing.
Yeah. And the thing about, like, him is also the music is serious.
Yeah.
Dave is not.
No.
And that's the thing that I love about that band is like those songs are fucking powerful, kick-ass songs, and he's out there to have a fucking great time with you.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing with Freddie Mercury, that kind of thing, is that like when you're talking, you're like hyping up the crowd or whatever, but you're not actually talking about the song. Mm-hmm. You're getting everyone involved in the musical experience.
Yes.
You know, so the song could be about suicide. It could be about, you know, long lost love. It could be very sad. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to watch you play the music, not
Unless
listen.
you're going to say Damien Rice, then you're going to cry the entire time.
I know, but even he's funny.
And he's very Irish.
And he's very dark and brooding.
Yeah, very dark and brooding.
So is there anything else you would want to see? Those are the things I think I want to see more of this year.
I want to see events. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see another fucking show. Mm-mm. You know, like, I think that's what we're getting to, is this idea of, like, I want to see all of the, you know, I want to see the bombastic fucking, I want to see what the band at my local venue can do that rivals the Muse show I saw earlier this year. With their own fucking, with their, just grit and self, you know, willpower. Is what can you fucking do?
Just think about it like a Kiss thing.
Yes.
What can you do to blow away a 500 cap room that would have people buzzing?
Yeah.
Not the least of which is the management. And it might cost you a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And yes, it may take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But like, you can reuse all that stuff. Like, but if you just think about it that way, if you're like, okay, if I were to play a theater, 2,000 or whatever, we're going to put a lot of work into it. Well, why not for the 500? Like, figure it out. Find a way to do it.
Because you're also going to promote that differently. You will promote that show differently because you're putting that artistic work into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we know we're making it sound easy. I know it's hard. I know it's a lot of what you've got a job, you're rehearsing, you're doing all these things, you got the shows, you got 5 shows coming. Yeah. I know, but like, this is what's going to break you out of the thing you're doing. If you're not growing, this is what's going to help you grow. This is why we're telling you this. I think the other thing about that is that when you're paying attention to your presentation of your music, it doesn't matter whether you nail it right at first. Like, just try something crazy, try something a little bit different. And here's one of the biggest pieces of advice I'm giving bands this year. Come up with your killer cover.
Ooh.
Nothing sells your show better to civilians, right, than one of your fans being able to go, "Oh my God, they do a version of this song you already know." Like, that sells a show so well. Like, that person could know your whole catalog, know every one of your songs perfectly. But like, if you do a killer version of something and make it your band's song, that band in LA that's doing a crazy rock version with synth of Jump that was like all over TikTok.
Yeah.
And it was like the guitar players were doing the solos that is the key part. They were doing that together, and it blew up. It blew up because everybody's like, "Oh my God, you should hear this band's version of Jump." Yeah. And that is a touchstone that any civilian fan, and whether they like that band, that cover band or not, it's an easy way to share. As a fan of your band, it's an easy way for them to share something that anyone can understand.
Yeah.
If you're like, "Oh my God, the version they do of My Chemical Romance Helena is amazing. You have to see it."
I would love to cover that song.
Well, what's the worst?
Let's just Well played. I don't know. I can figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
That's good. That's good. Oh, dude, that was a lovely rant there, by the way.
Right?
Well done.
Thank
lovely
you,
rant.
Kelsey. Thank you.
Thanks,
She's
Kelsey.
like, finally, you hit something on the goddamn list. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry fucking Christmas.
All right, let's get to the sink of the week. The sink of the week. Sink of the week, I'll go first.
Go for it.
Mine is from Porsche Taycan. There's a new Porsche
lovely.
out.
That's the electric one, isn't it?
Oh, it's rough for windy.
The Taycan is
so.
the electric one, yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
And the placement on it, it's a commercial spot, and they used "I'm Cool Like That."
I'm shocked you saw a commercial. Diggable Planets?
Yes, Rebirth of Slick, y'all.
Hell yes.
Parentheses, cool like that. Diggable Planets, one of the best posy hip hop songs ever. It's so fucking good. I'm cool like that. I'm smooth like that. Chill like that. It's a killer song.
It's great.
And it's being used for Porsche, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
The agency is Kramer Krasselt, which is CK. The executive director of that is Marshall Ross. I think he works that account. Again,
fantastic.
There are going to be more of these kind of commercials, and get in on that shit. But yeah, I saw a commercial. What did I see a commercial? Oh, I was watching probably football because I'm a sports ball person.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not an active sit and watch sports person. If it's on in the background. Cool like that. Anyway, that's a fucking great choice. That is a great song.
It is a great song.
Diggable Planets. There's so many fucking great chill hop kind of vibe bands from that era, like
Us Three,
Arrested Development. Even I would go De La Soul to a just fucking cool shit, Anyway,
yeah. That's
okay,
good
so
stuff.
I'm gonna let my nerd flag fly because in between workouts and moving, I have actually been watching the Doctor Who specials on Disney Plus. Very much enjoying all of those. They have 3 of them out. I believe the final one is out Christmas Day. But Doctor Who Special 3, The Giggle, with the most delightful Neil Patrick Harris as the titular villain. Just delightful moment. Dance breakout where a bunch of people explode into rose petals with the Spice Girls Spice Up Your Life. Watching NPH dance gleefully in a ringmaster costume to Spice Up Your Life by Spice Girls was a delightful experience. It's been a really fun run of these. They're expending their entire effects budget on these 4 specials. Thank you, BBC. It has not actually looked like a BBC show for these last 4 episodes because most of the time you're watching a Doctor Who, you're like, yeah, this was definitely made at the BBC studios. You can tell. They have we've talked about this before. BBC shows have a very particular look to them.
They do.
But these do not look like that, and they're great. So that is Ollie White was the music soup on that one for Spice Up Your Life. The Spice Girls in Special 3 for Doctor Who, The Giggle.
Nice. So you haven't seen the new one, like the end, right? That's Christmas Day?
Christmas Day. I think the 4th one is at Christmas Day. So I've seen the 3 up till now, yeah.
All right. I've heard. Have you heard anything about it?
I have heard that there was...
I heard there's rule breaking.
There was rule breaking in the last one for sure.
Of the world, right?
The world building. Yes, yeah. The world of Doctor Who. There was a little thing now that.
Well, when you see the next one, we'll have to chat about it.
Yeah.
I'm not as privy, but I do understand fandom.
Since it came back in the 2000s with Christopher Eccleston, I have been a fan. I kind of fell off a little bit over the last few seasons. But there were just for a sci-fi nerd fan, and something that I grew up with. It is still something I enjoy watching. And David Tennant is, we've talked about Good Omens, and
he's
just a
David
fucking
Tennant
David Tennant is the. And anytime you see him with Michael Sheen, all the shit they did during the pandemic on Zoom videos, it was just it's just funny as all hell. And I'm a very big fan of him, and the fact that he's been back in the last few episodes has been really, really, really fun. But absolutely, there is some rule breaking.
Yes. Okay. Have a sandwich, David. All right. Let's wrap this sucker up. Merry Christmas, Kelsey. Thank you for all the work you did. Merry Christmas, Stu. Happy Christmas, Mahana, Kwanzaa Galupe to everybody out there celebrating all the things.
That sounds like something you would get at Taco Bell, by the way.
Oh, it's really good. It's $2.99. I get it with the gordita. It's fantastic. A little bit of the medium fire sauce, sure. They don't have medium fire sauce. It's just medium or fire. Huh. Yeah. Maybe you should ask. Anyway, so I hope everybody's having a great time. I hope you have a great Christmas. We'll be back. We're gonna push on through because we don't have nothing to do because we're in the music industry. We're done. I had 2 more shows and I'm out.
Fucking A, right. You have a fabulous holiday season, however you're celebrating. Be kind to each other and do things in joy and love and write a great song.
Yeah, at 2ShotsMusicPod.com. You can also find us anywhere at 2ShotsMusicPod. That's the number 2 at 2ShotsMusicPod. 2ShotsMusicPod at gmail.com. Email us all your happy things, and you can send us emails that we will not read this week. And until then, we hope you write a great song. I love you guys, and be kind to each other, and have a great holiday.
Yay.
Yay. Talk to you soon. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.